You're not my dad!
What up, Ho Biscuits? It's your girl, Skitten, back at it again. My braids are gone. They're out of here. They're currently in the garbage. We're done with those.
Can I tell a story now? Just quick.
I guess.
So we were at the gym twice, 2 days in a row, and Skitten was losing a braid for each day we were at the gym.
Yeah, they fell out. One of them fell out, and I was just like, okay.
Working hard.
And the girl who braided my hair like told me that that was probably gonna happen because like my hair back here was like super fucking short. Like it was so short. She was like, I don't know if this is gonna stay, and I was like, try.
Do it.
Try. You know, let's just try.
I pay you to do this with your fingers, not tell me if it's gonna stay in my head.
No, she's sweet. I love her. I adore her. So husband.
What?
OSP made a video about us.
About us?
About us. I didn't even know they knew who we were.
Is it about my beauty?
Maybe. I don't know.
What do you...
It could be.
You mean duh? It's about how beautiful I am.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
I heard you say it's about me.
It's about us. No,
Yeah.
us. Together.
Oh, us.
Us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
You want to know? Okay, you want to know how I know it's about us?
Because it has our name on the title?
No. No.
Oh.
No.
So it's not about us.
It is about us because listen,
Right.
you're ruining my joke.
Sorry. How is it about us, sweet?
It's too late now.
That didn't... Yes. How's it about us?
Obviously, the video's not about us.
Okay.
They don't know who we are. They wouldn't recognize us from Adam, and I've been asking Red out on my videos for like 2 weeks now.
Just tell me how they know it's us.
It's called History's Best Couples.
So it's us. You could have said they do know we exist, obviously, from the title of that. Why did you get so down on yourself? They know we exist, baby. They know we're out
I mean,
here.
if you know we exist, Red, hello, hi.
She's married.
I'm like, yes, I am married.
So, no. But sure, but no. But, you know.
We're here to watch History's Best Couples. Now, they released this as a Valentine's Day video. Clearly, we
Jesus
are
Christ.
a little late to the party.
What
but
happened
that's
was the gopher saw his shadow. We had to reset back a couple months.
us being late to the party is definitely our MO.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like every video we react
every
to.
time we show up on time to things, people are like, "You're on time." Oh my God, you're on time.
What happened?
We're just like, fuck you. We show up on time to at least 3% of events.
So stop acting like that with your face, seeing me. Shit.
You ready? Are you ready to get started?
Now, I'd love to hear things about myself.
All right. Without further ado,
Just like, it just like escalates.
let's go ahead and get started.
History has a very weird way of playing out. In the 3rd century AD, a Christian saint named Valentinus was martyred for helping Romans escape religious persecution, and nowadays we choose to mark the occasion by buying flowers and procuring fancy dinner reservations by right of conquest. This
You know
Do you want to tell them?
No, you tell them.
No, you tell them.
No. I don't care if they know, but I figured you'd want to say something about it.
So a few years ago, God, how many?
4.5.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it's longer.
Mm.
I think it's long because I think it was only
Yeah. Anyways.
It was our first Valentine's Day? Whatever.
fill 'em in
A long
first.
ass time ago, okay? In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
My husband wrote me a love letter. And in the love letter, he described in great detail that man's death.
Yeah. Also the naked whipping.
And also the naked whipping.
Yeah.
I think I still have that letter somewhere.
You should. It's a great letter.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But it was sweet.
It was really cute in a
Yeah.
really macabre, just very gory way. One of those things where, like, you tell people, oh, for Valentine's Day, I got a love letter. And they're like, oh, let me see. And you're just like, oh.
No. No. You gotta have context for this. You can't just read that out of nowhere. You'd be too surprised.
Just something so romantic about dropkicking a party of two along your quest for a candlelit feast. But even before our modern era of professing love through culinary bloodsport, couples throughout history have had interesting and varied ways of showing affection, which is my polite way of saying unhealthy at best and deeply self-destructive at worst. My friends, we are in for a ride today. Now let's do some history. So as we know well, or in some cases just covered in the past decade, love comes in many forms and always has. And we know this for a fact because people specifically wrote about it. Sing muse of the thirst of Peleus' son Achilles. And as soon as Greek culture invented first-person poetry, it also invented gay first-person poetry. Now this was going to be the part where I begin discussing the lyric poet Sappho of Lesbos, but as I did my research, I realized she's actually way too interesting for me to just breeze through in this hijinks roundup. So your girl is getting promoted to a future History Makers video, and I'll just skip ahead to the next item on my list, which is dunking on Caesar. We usually think of Caesar as the guy who conquered Gaul, crossed the Rubicon, became dictator for life, and then very swiftly died, but his personal life was arguably just as bonkers as his political career. I like to joke about the sharp lines of old Cheekbones McGee, but Caesar's friends and enemies alike had to concede that the man was handsome, and his looks were most definitely not going to waste, because Julius was a prolific flirt, and he used that as fuel for his politics. In Rome, being a man of great manliness could be demonstrated by doing the sex, and that in turn reflected well on their political abilities. It's a, you know what? No, I don't think I'll elaborate on that. So in addition to his 3 successive wives, Cornelia, who died in 69 BC, nice, Pompeia, whom he divorced after a political scandal, and Calpurnia, who outlived him, Caesar slept with every well-to-do woman he could, including and not limited to the wives of Pompey Magnus and Marcus Crassus, who were his political partners in the first triumvirate. In Rome, extramarital affairs weren't particularly rare or even seen as wrong, but what sets Caesar apart is his thoroughness. For one brutally illustrative example, when the Senate was debating in the wake of the thwarted Catiline conspiracy in 63 BC, Caesar received a letter while in the middle of a speech. Cato the Younger suspected the note was some evidence of Caesar's involvement in the plot and demanded that it be read out loud. Caesar, to his credit, really tried to get Cato to back down, but Cato insisted, so Caesar began reading an astonishingly inappropriate and uncomfortably descriptive love letter from Cato's own half-sister. Servilla's lustful missive may well have been mortifying for Cato to read in a vacuum, but imagine the poor man's misery to hear the entire Senate just laughing at him about it. Suffice to say, he never—
Oh, and did they heckle. Jesus. Yeah, you like those beans, don't you? Stir that pot.
lived it down, and neither did the young Marcus Brutus because Servilla was also his mother. Caesar, however, was not immune from ridicule because the young Julius once served as ambassador to the Bithynian king Nicomedes IV, and as soon as he returns to Rome, the rumor mill spun into action. The mockery he endured for getting frisky with a foreign king was so intense that Caesar's own legions sang saucy tunes about it decades after the fact. And this actually brings up an interesting angle of Roman sexuality, because in Rome as in Greece, the line between what we call straight and gay was thin to non-existent. So if casual bisexuality was the norm, why all the jokes at Caesar's expense? Well, the thing with Rome is that everything has a power dynamic, so it was fine to be gay, but only if you were the top. Which seems extremely arbitrary.
Who's doing the bending, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the first question a lot of people, who's doing the bending? Like, I don't know, you know.
Now, like, it's wishy-washy. You know, we in there. It's like a tumbleweed.
Dryer.
Yeah, like a fucking... Like, I don't fucking remember, dude. We was high as shit, first of all. This is not your processed narcotics. These shits are raw. Yeah, dude, it fucking matters. And, like, obviously imagery for everything. Like, masculinity still existed.
Right.
But just not in the way that we just understand it, like, as Western culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? But how do you stand in front of people and have literally a personal, like, political life, and they're like, I know stuff about you. You know, gossip is like gossip. So if you just amped up, like, Gossip Girl to political level, that's what it would be like with being in Rome.
Gossip Girl in ancient Roman times, I would watch that.
That's literally, yeah, dude. That's what it was like, man. So
watch that.
It's intense.
Knowing the Romans, that still somehow makes complete sense. So although Caesar was better known for his womanizing, the episode on the receiving end of Nicomedes earned Caesar the nickname Every Woman's Man and Every Man's Woman. And that's the love life of Julius Caesar, who banged his way through Rome, Gaul, Anatolia, North Africa, and Egypt. Heck, I haven't even mentioned Cleopatra.
I
but
know, I
about
was
time.
waiting.
Suffice to say, the only thing Caesar couldn't smash was Parthia. Am I right, lads? Oh, that was dumb. But
Why are you laughing?
It's funny.
What's funny about it?
Because it's true.
not untrue. Anyway.
That's what he
Caesar
says.
was
He
an
says it
example
right
of how
after.
to build a political career on pure thirst. This story from medieval China shows how lust can be the undoing of not just one ruler, but an entire empire. This tale is immortalized in Bai Zhiyi's poem, The Song of Everlasting Sorrow, so you know right off the bat this one's gonna go great. But let's
Yeah.
start with the history and hop into the Tang Dynasty during the reign of Emperor Xuanzong. During the early part of his reign, the emperor is rightly credited with improving foreign trade relations along the Silk Road and at sea, reforming the military to become a professional force instead of a conscript army, and generously subsidizing literature and artistry. But apparently, working one's butt off for a decade and a half to lift China into a golden age of prosperity and culture can get a bit tiring. So starting in 734, the emperor began delegating more responsibilities to his wife, the empress. She appointed Li Linfu as chancellor, and when she died 3 years later, Li found himself as the acting head of state. So, what do you do when you need to keep an emperor entertained for basically the rest of his life? You import a palace full of women. But of those
Yeah.
3,000-odd concubines, the emperor only had eyes for one person, his son's wife.
Oh.
That's a yikes.
My God.
That's...
Damn.
Okay, look, I'm all for star-crossed lovers and, like,
okay.
you know, traveling through time to be with the person that you love.
Okay, I know they're interesting
vampire
concept.
love stories.
Yeah, a little bloody.
But I just feel like there's lines you don't cross.
If Nick's dad wanted to date
No.
his
Don't.
wife, how uncomfortable of a dinner table. You've mama'd my Mia.
I don't...
It's the title of the meme video.
Also, you know what that reminds me of?
Why does it remind you of anything?
Not the Mamma Mia thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what that reminds me of is all those things that were going around on Tumblr, and they're like, if you're mean to me, I'll seduce your dad, and then I'll
Yes.
marry him, and then
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
your stepmom.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, hey, you better watch your step, because your dad is ready.
He's also got moves. Don't fuck this up. All right? Your brother could just be all messed up the rest of his life.
I also think that was a plot line in Empire. I'm pretty sure the dad marries the mother of his son's child.
In Empire. The one with Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That show got messy. We're going to continue this.
Nevertheless, in 741, this Yang Yuhuan was branch transferred from wife of the prince to imperial consort. The emperor doted on her
transferred?
incessantly, granting what began as small requests but steadily ballooned into appointing her entire extended family to high positions in government and the military.
Okay,
While the
That's
young
how it works,
family
though.
slid comfortably into profitable posts they proceeded to completely neglect, Li Linfu was busy appointing foreign loyalists to beef up his power base. For you political corruption stands in the audience, the former is nepotism while the latter would be cronyism, but both of them are still very bad. And even worse was the development that these two camps did not like each other. This came crashing down in 755 when the foreign-born general An Lushan escalated a local spat with the Yang family into a full rebellion against
Wow.
the emperor.
Oh.
And you thought this was a love story.
Right.
Ha! You fool. The real sorrow here is the decline of good governance. An Lushan's rebellion didn't quite work out how he wanted, as he died just 2 years in, but it would ravage China for another several years, and
Sorry.
Oh, damn.
Sorry. That made me laugh so fucking hard.
this is where our lovers enter into the picture again. The emperor
Okay.
and Lady Yang were forced to flee the palace by the rebelling army, and the Tang soldiers complained that this was all Lady Yang's fault, which...
Yeah.
And they forced her to kill herself.
Yes!
Technically,
Oh, wait, no!
Oh, why did you celebrate that like that?
I thought he was going to say they forced her into exile.
You were like, boom! Self-kill!
No!
Bang! Gut stab!
No! I thought they were going to say they forced her into exile. Stop! Stop!
Double kill!
Damn, double homicide. No, that's not funny.
KO.
That's not funny. I
It was
just,
hilarious.
it's not what I thought he was going to say.
Damn, bro. Fuck. That's comedy.
consulted beforehand, but clearly in a, hey, just so you know, we are doing this kind of way, as opposed to asking permission. So Lady Young died, and the emperor was heartbroken, so he abdicated to his son, who spent the rest of his reign fighting the rebellion. This marks the second worst thing Xuanzong ever did to his son, aside from,
Stealing his wife.
the inciting incident. As I mentioned at the start, this story is most famously recounted in poetry, but weirdly, it's set all the way back in the Han Dynasty. In that version of the story, the systemic corruption is glossed over, and Lady Yang dies to motivate the emperor to focus on winning his battle. And after the victory, everyone is just sad for 100 lines, without stopping to note that the couple brought this all on themselves.
Right.
It would seem the poet was uninterested in the long-term consequences of severe government neglect, which is precisely why I don't write love stories. Okay, now that we've witnessed a debacle, let's take a look at a tragedy. We all know that arranged political marriages were rarely fun for anyone involved, but nothing tops the marriage of King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. The first two tales in this video were not what I would consider fun, but this story is just awful
Do the boom thing in this one too.
everything. So after the 7 Years' War shuffled the diplomatic map of
Do it. Do the boom thing in this one too.
Europe, France and Austria found themselves needing to forge an alliance, so the sitting royals arranged for Princess Marie to marry into the French monarchy via Dauphin Louis. The pairing was an immediate disaster, as a firework display on their wedding night blew over from stiff wind and caused the crowd, whom the rockets were now firing into, to panic and stampede, killing anywhere from a couple hundred to a few thousand people. The couple went out of their way to financially compensate families affected by the tragedy, but man, that is a rough start, and it did not get better. Thing is, neither Louis nor Marie wanted anything to do with this situation. When he was born, his grandfather, Louis XV, was still king, and his older brother was in line for the throne. By 1774, his brother, father, and grandfather died, leaving this poor 20-year-old as King Louis XVI, when the shy, indecisive homebody would have been much happier just reading and locksmithing. Marie, by contrast, was social, showy, and expensive, having a taste for fine clothes, sprawling gardens, and chocolate. She started every day with a cup of hot chocolate and whipped cream, which is a powerful morning routine. Well, morning is a stretch, because she woke up around noon after spending every night on the town. So there was a pretty clear disconnect between the pair, and the conspicuous lack of a child fueled 7 years of gossip since their marriage in 1770, on top of the garden variety complaints that anything and everything was her fault because she was an icky gross foreigner who went to parties. And of course, rumors of Marie's infidelity circulated from the start, but come on, who did they think she was? Caesar? Roasted. Now, the lack of an heir could have been for a lot of reasons, and remains the subject of far too much speculation. Contemporary accusations that Louis suffered from PP too small were a result of the perceived connection between weak political performance and insufficient manliness. But if the uncomfortably thorough court records on the subject are anything to go by, Louis was more likely afflicted with, ouch, PP too big. Yep. This was not made better by the fact that the king and queen slept in separate rooms connected by a very public corridor that passed right in front of the royal court, who would have known exactly what Louis was up to at that hour of the evening. 7 years into this nightmare, the Queen of Austria sent Marie's brother to give Louis the pep talk and/or surgery he needed to begin having children with Marie.
Oh no.
Wow.
Cool. Awesome, just fantastic. I hate everything about this. Why can't you just let this poor library ace live his life?
Right.
Sickos. Anyway, as if the situation couldn't get worse, then the French Revolution
Bang!
happened. Faced with colossal debt and factionalism in the court, Louis was beset by interlocking problems that even a much more capable monarch would crumble under.
Yeah.
One thing leads to another, I am not getting into it, and soon Louis was public enemy number one.
Yeah.
2. People still hated Marie Antoinette more.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, the let them eat cake business was a misattribution from one of 2 earlier sources. In 1792, the royals attempted to sneak out to Austria and lead an army in to reinstate the authority of the monarchy, but it failed, allegedly because Marie's perfume was so strong it gave them away. The monarchs were tried for treason, which to be fair, yeah, that is kind of treason, and they both met their ends at the guillotine the next year. These two definitely were not saints, but man, did history do them dirty.
Yeah, they didn't really
what a mess.
deserve it.
Though we've been talking about the joyful subject of love, I would still like the record to show that I distinctly did not have fun today, so I'm firmly marking these tales as blurst. But that aside, what can we learn from all this? Well,
Okay.
that's tough, but let me try to spin this. First, don't have affairs. You never know when your mistress's son might just stab you. Second,
Yeah.
maintain a healthy work-life balance, and while you're at it, maybe don't steal your child's spouse. And
Yep.
third, recognize when a pairing is just not good for anyone. Truly, every detail I learned while researching this video made me wish I had never started, and I'm frankly shocked that our disaster species was ever allowed to make it this far.
Stupid.
Thank you for watching.
That was good.
What do you have to say about the last one?
It always makes me sad.
You didn't do the boom.
I didn't want to boom.
Boom!
There was nothing to boom.
Boom! They died.
Okay.
Just like when another girl died, you
Okay,
boomed.
but I didn't think she was dying.
But you knew that they were going to die.
Right, so I didn't boom. The boom that I did in the first place was an accident.
All right, okay. Well, Skitten didn't want to boom it. I'll boom it for you. I don't think it's that sad. Like politically, they were, at best, to say rocky relationships between the monarch and the populace for like, I don't know, the last 7 decades.
Okay, but that wasn't their fault.
So then they literally are born into this lavish life of political stress.
Right.
And then just do nothing until it all
What do you
crumbles.
want me to do? I am doing as my forefathers and my forefathers' forefathers and my forefathers' 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 forefathers did before me.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that was actually an appropriate amount of forefathers, which makes me happy on the inside.
As it should. So, unfortunately,
Yeah.
this video did not feature us in any way, shape, or form.
There was no beauty in it.
There was nothing about us in it at all. Not even our faces, which are very available to be put in videos about couples that are great. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Can you?
I would.
I can't.
You already know my opinions on winking on this channel.
I can't do the wink part, so I just need
You-
to do the wink.
Okay, all right, I'll wink for you. It just only as like, yeah, it's like a replacement.
Hint, hint. Wink, wink. There we go.
Okay.
Teamwork.
I would just like to say I was just upset at the lack amount of beauty that played in this. Maybe, the guy's son's daughter or wife was beautiful. I don't know who was the
Somebody was beautiful.
Somebody's getting beautiful.
So Caesar was beautiful.
I just was upset at the lack of role that beauty played in this video. I would just like to see a better representation. Thank you, wife, for bringing me in.
Thank you,
I
husband.
like to expand my horizons a little bit. He hit basically every popular part of
Yeah,
the
it
world.
was great.
Yeah, that was
I
really
was
nice.
really surprised he didn't get into the fact that the queen was married to her cousin, but maybe that's a story for another day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your action requests and recommendations down in the comments below. And other than that, peace out, Hope Biscuits. It's Skitten Lit.
Getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting too hot. What happened to that guy?
Can I end the video?
Yeah.
It's like a half hour long. Can we end it here?
You guys had fun. Bye-bye.